I haven't watched this. I'm really excited. He's quit a lot. Like, yeah, you know, LazyPeon has quit the game. A lot of people do that. It's nothing.
Black Desert Online has been out for almost 10 years now, and is still going strong today thanks to consistent updates from developers Pearl Abyss, as well as the game being best in genre for combat and visuals. We love
clean.
They let us craft our own stories in the digital realms of the game. Similar to many sandbox MMOs, Black Desert boasts a decade-long history filled with epic adventures and crazy stories. Today, let's embark on a journey through the history of BDO together. Joining me is my editor, a seasoned BDO player.
Dude, okay, what a great clip. Okay, let me explain this clip. Point of view, you're 30k hours in BDO, and somebody resisted your CC and you lost. Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. So somebody resisted your CC in Arena Solar and you lost because of it.
And crazy stories. Today, let's embark on a journey through the history of BDO together. Joining me is my editor, a seasoned BDO player. I'll share the most incredible events in BDO history. Some you may know, others not. So grab some food, saddle up your tier 9, and follow me through the stories where players left their mark in the history books of Black Desert Online. But first, today's sponsor, Star Trek Fleet Command. Embark on an epic journey in Star Trek Fleet Command, a free-to-play 4X MMO game. I actually played that game recently. We had a sponsor with this as well. Star Trek universe. Customize your fleet and crew to dominate the galaxy. Recruit iconic characters from the next generation, the original series.
It's one of those where you like build up a city as well,
including the famous Captain Kirk,
yeah, looks well. Yeah, we had this recently.
Favorite characters.
It was actually kind of good.
Players can even build iconic ships such as the USS Enterprise or the Romulan Warbirds.
I know some people that absolutely love
players worldwide,
like Call of Dragons and Clash of Clans,
and explore new worlds.
This year I like because like every time you're building shit,
because of Star Trek
you can go out and fly and attack stuff and do missions.
The game is currently full of special contests, experiences, giveaways, and in-game events. The game is completely free and available on both desktop and mobile. So play.
No, Hagen. That right there was 100%. Somebody resisted his KD in Arena Solar, and he lost the match because of it. There's 0% chance it's anything but that. It's Heathen. Heathen is the premier guy to complain about resist being a thing in PvP.
Can enjoy a seamless gaming experience at home or on the go by connecting with a Scopely account. So don't forget to download Star Trek Fleet Command using the link in the description or the QR code on screen, and use code WARPSPEED to receive a new player content pack for free, as well as 10 epic shards
he's very happy with
download now, the Blue Data Leak. Let's start with the event horizon of BDO, probably
the Jesus of BDO. Yeah, this guy right here, Blue, he still streams, he still plays. It Me Blue, let me give a shout out to my homie here. If you guys want to check out Throne and Liberty, Blue is playing that a shit ton. He did like a 48-hour stream or whatever, trying it out. He's been going hard. He plays on career in BDO still and other areas. This guy is the reason we have hidden numbers available in BDO. This guy is the reason that we can see accuracy on accessories. He's the reason we can see monster damage on Kudum, crit rates, and like all of this shit. He is the reason for it. And he died for his sins, our sins. He died for the sins.
The most impactful thing that happened in the game's history that changed things forever. In the early days, Black Desert Online was shrouded in mystery.
Oh, look at
We had no clue about enhancement percentages.
Oh yeah, you don't see percentages here.
Whether an item provided evasion or damage reduction. Honestly,
see the stats here. What does it say? DP. Look at this is what items used to look like. It just says DP. That's it. There's no evasion, there's no DR, there's no parenthesis evasion or anything like that. We had no clue. The only thing we had to go on was the amount of DP, and then set bonuses, and what it said like increases X when you level up. Same with weapons and everything, you just saw AP. There was no accuracy on them, there was no species damage, there was no special damage, human damage, all it didn't show. Yeah. And Blue is the reason we have this.
Nobody knew. The developers intentionally kept things unclear. Everything changed in late 2017 when the streamer Blue, together with other data miners, found multiple hidden files inside the latest patch for the game. Yeah. Typically, in most games, sensitive information is safely encrypted in the game.
Also, PA hid all the stuff on purpose because the philosophy of BDO, which I think is a cool philosophy, it just doesn't work. But I honestly like the idea. The idea was they didn't want people to min-max. They wanted to play the game, try different things out, and use what people felt worked best. Obviously, that doesn't work. And if anybody then has some knowledge, it's invaluable power. But also, how the fuck are you going to try out different gear sets in BDO? It's only until now, right, that the most geared players, we have multiple swaps and everything. So I can actually play around with my gear. Oh, I can try out like this and that. And how the hell are you supposed to have multiple weapons and armors in an infinitely progressing game? It just wasn't realistic. So how are you going to test anything out and find out what works best? It doesn't work. So, like, the idea is cool and everything, but yeah, it was ludicrous.
Games files, but this time Perlibis kind of forgot to secure those files. They left them in a folder you could easily check without needing encryption or shady tools. This is when Pandora's box was opened, and Blue shared a huge Google document with thousands of lines revealing hidden game data.
Yeah.
The document spilled the beans on everything.
Like 2 weeks old.
The tiny hidden numbers, success and failure percentages for gear enhancement.
Oh right, yeah, we couldn't see percentages on enhancement either. So there was an old chart from Russia. The old, I don't know, do you guys remember the old fail stacks? I'm pretty sure it was 25, 35, 45, 90, and then 120 for pin. I think those were the numbers we used back then, because they were based around some numbers out of Russia, which were apparently both a data mine, but also testing and shit like that. And the numbers actually are pretty close to the soft caps, but people thought that they were hard caps. And I got so much shit back in the day from people because I didn't believe in them. I mean, I did believe that there was something about them, right? But I didn't believe that they were hard caps. So when I was going for my tits and stuff, I went higher. I always overstacked on the big accessories. That's also why when I went for one of the first pin ogres in NA, I didn't do it until I sat on a tit ogre for over 6 months. Yeah, I had 2 tit ogres when most people were trying to get a try. And I didn't click for pin until I had a 200 stack because I didn't believe that the fail stacks were like necessarily right. I wanted to take every precaution. And it turned out that that was a good idea. Well, it still fucking failed, right? But it was a fun time. We didn't know any of this until the data mines. Russian hacker, let's go. You can always trust the the Russians to come out with some crazy stuff, yeah.
And all those mysterious calculations the game does behind the scenes.
It was very, very close.
This is why when you look at an item in Black Desert now, there's a small number below the main stat, what you might have heard referred to as hidden stat, because, well, it was hidden. This might not sound like a big deal now, but back when everything was hidden, only a handful of folks really knew what items were good or bad. People had to spend countless hours testing to discover the optimal build for their class, and not everyone shared their findings. Blue got
like, why would you shit? Like, that's the biggest power is knowledge, right? In a game where knowledge is so limited and like you don't know what the hell's going on, holy moly, dude.
For this, and Perlibis wiped out any evidence of the data leak. It's pretty tough to find information about it online now, but there's no denying that the game would be totally different today if it weren't for this major leak and Blue's role in it.
You guys can you guys already know how many things are just not knowledgeable, like that you have no idea about in BDO, unless somebody tells you or you watch a guide on it or whatever. An example could be my crunchstone video, how you can actually make crunchstones in BDO with those patterns that you get from a drop. I know a lot of people that when I posted that video, it's like, oh my god, is that what they're for? I just been deleting them. I've destroyed thousands of these over the years. I had no fucking clue what they were for. Like, obviously you could look it up and everything, but there's so much information still that's not presented to you that you have to go and look up. Imagine if stats and everything was not even presented either. At least now you can make a somewhat educated decision on what to go for. But then again, you still have to question, well, should you go evasion or DR? Is my class evasion or DR class? Like, how the fuck do you know this?
Lari's game of guilds. You can't talk about BDO's history.
You did the usual thing. Yeah, then you find out you just deleted potentially like 5,000 to 10,000 cronstones. But yeah, that's BDO for you. Always hold. Always hold.
Without mentioning Lari, the king of the NA server. Before branching out to other games, Lari was the biggest streamer in Black Desert, leading the infamous guild Man Up. He gained fame in the BDO community through his video series Game of Guilds, which has become a window into Black Desert's history. This series, full of drama and tension akin to a HBO show, captures the thriving siege scene of that time. It reflects an era in Black Desert where players aspired to join the top guilds, engage in
that's my guild, bro, that's my guild. I was in the summit this time. Wait, am I here? I might actually be there.
It reflects an era in Black Desert where players aspired to
any alchemy. Oh, that's Miss Wizard. Shine over here
to join the top.
Wait, I'm not here, right? AARK
guilds.
We're looking for Nas Michael. Yeah, I know. We're looking for an alchemy rank. I was always rank 1. Oh, dude, no. Igrisil, GM of Man Up. I don't know. So Man Up kind of like came back and disappeared and all that over time.
Epic battles and be part of something more meaningful than just grinding mobs in a circle. Lari's Game of Guilds were the best PvP meme videos I've ever seen. My favourite one was the Barcode arc, which tells the epic tale of how after holding a castle for 7 weeks, Man Up got zerged by half the server. And
I was actually in that Zerg with Insomnia. That was before I joined Black Rose. I didn't join Black Rose until they died. Basically, Black Rose eventually was had to do a merger with Vincere. No, wait, that's what they ended up being. It was called Vexus? No. Hixus. I don't remember. Whatever, they made Vincere, which was like a merger guild, and that shit died real quick. Sasha was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm gonna go back and start Black Rose over. And that was around the time then Insomnia, we hadn't done another merge to get into Seeds, and that shit died because of Bliss Online killed the guild. Not even kidding. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. We made like a merger with a guild to start getting into like Building Seeds and all, and then Bliss Online came out, and the two GMs both fucked off to play that. To be fair, that was during the time when BDO was like at its worst ever in terms of play, because they were reworking crowd control in the game. It took like 2 months or whatever, and the game got full reworked crowd control systems, and PvP was a fucking mess. It was such a mess back then for quite a while. So, and it literally timed perfectly with Bliss coming out. So, yeah. But I just kept grinding, so. And then basically Black Rose started to build up again. And that's when me and a bunch of the homies that was trying to get into Seeds at that point, but then our merger died. We're like, fuck it. We want to be part of building something up. And we reached out to Sasha and we joined. And I guess the rest is history. PP is still a mess. Oh, I can promise you, it was nothing like it was. That was probably the worst, most darkest time in PvP. Now, like, in terms of how messy it was. It's still obviously unbalanced and everything, but no, it was really, really bad and weird. It gave me nightmares. Yeah, I feel in that one, Laffy. It was some interesting times. In what ways? So they were completely reworking CCs. At that time. Back then, basically you were like super protected. Lingering super armor for warriors was a thing. So you pretty much just super armor demonstrated each other. unless you had a grab. Like, it's basically now, but 10 times worse. So what they did was they reworked the systems. They changed how CCs were applied. Yeah, you had infinite CCs. Basically, every single hit on an ability applied the CC. They changed that to only apply the CC on the first hit, and then resist working against it. Only resist, because you could also use evasion against CC back then. And that meant you had like way more protected skills. So they pulled the back protections. They added CCs to unprotected skills. Awakening Witch and Wizard were the only class allowed to have a protected CC in the Awakening kit. Also, there was no succession back then. So that's important note as well. It was the only class in the game that was allowed to have a protected CC. It was Awakened Witch and Wizard because they were so stationary. Everything else was CCs on unprotected skills in the Awakening kit. So they completely reworked everything, and it needed a lot of rebalancing. And I still remember it as they didn't do all the classes at once. So like some of the classes got refixed and all that, and then you still had some that was completely bonked. It was like a mess. It took quite a while to like sort it all out. Yeah.
Off the server, and in perfect shonen anime fashion, Lari went into a training arc and got his revenge, claiming back his crown as king of the NA server.
Push in, nuke this shit. Big AoE on my ping. That's a good wipe. Keep going, do not stop. Do not stop. Push in, keep pushing in. My ping, my ping. We got it, Fuck yeah, baby, let's go! What up, baby?
Rock look deep. If these three words together confuse you, don't worry, you're not the only one. Up until a few years ago, Abyss. Rock look deep.
Oh, yeah.
If these three words together confuse you, don't worry.
Oh yeah, the skeletons, right? Yeah, so people had to communicate and talk like, how do you do this? What do you think the clue is? And it was huge. There was like massive discourse popping up to solve these riddles and everything.
A few years ago, Abyss used to run a summer event called Mysteries of Summer, a uniquely crafted event where the devs would create puzzles and riddles for the entire player base to figure out. The reward? A fancy title, some cash shop currency, but most importantly, the biggest EP you could imagine. Typically, in MMOs, seasonal events are just repetitive, brainless tasks that you do once
fucking Hedon, man. Hedon is such a good editor.
A day or week for a participation prize. Yeah, Mysteries of Summer was none of that. In fact, it was a cutthroat race to the finish line where very dedicated groups of people would lock themselves away for weeks, trying to figure out a way to complete the riddles before everyone else. This is where the infamous Rock Look Deep hint came from. Abyss trickled down small hints to help people catch up to the event. Chapter 5 in particular was extremely obscure and took the longest for the community to solve. The solution was to look up a guild in-game called Squares and Compasses and type the bolded words in the guild's picture, which came out to, you forget the Rock Look Deep. PA has been a good sport about it, realising it was a bit of a fuck up on their part, and put out a nice little title to go with it, Rock Look Deep. Ogre Ring. Similar to other MMOs,
oh my god! Oh, okay, this is an epic moment. Orca was the GM of Barcode, and Barcode was the biggest guild on the Uno server back in the day. So a little history of BDO. Currently, there is only one regional server, right? There is NA server, there's the EU server, there's the Korean server. That didn't used to be the case. There used to be 3 servers in NA and 3 in EU. And on NA, you had the Uno server, the Oven server, and the Eden server. I don't know what they were in EU. But on NA, we had those 3 servers. I was on the Uno server with Barcode. And Orca, I met him for the first time. I didn't know who it was, right? But I met him for the first time ever in abandoned thingy where Mark of Shadows drops. Mark of Shadows, right? And that was the first time I became just another mob in a person's rotation. That was kind of nutty. Monastery, right? Yeah, abandoned monastery. That's the one. Orca, absolutely giga chat. And he still streams. He came back. I think he took a doctorate or became a doctor or some shit like that. And then he came back to BDO. Orca Will. He's an awesome dude. Lots of fun. You have to go and check him out as well. Isn't it Orca Will his on Twitch? Wait, isn't it Orca Will? Wait, what's Orca's name? Isn't it Orca Will? It is Orca Will. Okay, yeah, no, it is. That was him, by the way. Yeah, let me give you a shout out to Orca. It's Uno. No, it's Uno. No, the server is Uno.
Deep. Ogre Ring. Similar to other MMOs, BDO now offers a variety of endgame gear choices. New and powerful accessories are released periodically, often making the old ones a bit less impressive. During the first 2 years of the game's launch though, one accessory reigned supreme. The only yellow accessory in the game. Now, the name is a bit misleading, as the item wouldn't go in the ring slot, but the necklace slot. As to why you would put an ogre's cock ring around your neck, well, that's none of my business. The Ogre Ring used to be the best accessory in the game, offering the highest stats. However, getting it was a tough task. You had to defeat ogres in the Mancha Forest, a hotly contested area with a very low drop rate. In the first month of the game, something miraculous occurred. In Black Desert, failing to enhance an accessory usually leads to tears and regrets. So
I actually know how he did this, by the way.
Owning an Ogre Ring was already a significant status symbol.
I actually know how he got this.
Enhancing it was seen as pure madness. Item. Streamer Orcanaria pulled off something that's a once-in-an-MMO history event. Not only did he acquire 4 Ogre Rings, but he also successfully enhanced all of them, obtaining a Tri-Ogre Ring within the first month of the game's release. It's hard to express how incredible.
Yeah, so just a bit of context, right? A Tri-Ogre. At this point here, an in-game item was a base Ogre. A base Ogre. People were using Barris necklaces. Geared people had dual Barris. Yeah, exactly. Like, the geared people had a dual Barris necklace. Green fucking necklace. And like this here, I want to say it took over a year before other geared people got one. Like at least a year from him getting this to where other geared people got their Tri-Ogres. Maybe even longer. I feel like it took me until summer 20. Yeah, but I said geared people love him.
Release. It's hard to express how incredibly unlikely this was. To put this into perspective, having a Tri-Ogre was considered amazing even more than 2 years after Orca achieved.
Oh yeah, 2 years. Yeah, that is 1 year. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. But yeah, like he's pretty right. Like even 2 years after, it's completely true that it was considered amazing.
His Tri-Ogre. Addicted 1v6.
Okay, so let me explain how he actually got this. So
even more than
how he got it was by not grinding ogres. Call back to my story before. I met him in Abandoned Monastery. The way he got these was he grinded Mark of Shadows. And he sold the Mark of Shadows. And him and a couple of his friends were the first people with even enough silver to buy the Ogre Ring. So back then, the best items in the game were hard capped at 95 million silver. So Ogre Rings were 95 million silver. And that was insane. That was the same as the Saka and everything. Nobody had that silver. Except him. And some of his friends. So they bought the first many Ogre Rings that was listed because they were the only one with silver to do it. From grinding Mark of Shadows and selling those. And that's why he got the Ogre Rings, because he was the only one that could afford buying them. He didn't grind for them. He just bought anyone. Because like you have to understand, like selling one for 95 mil was so much silver. It was so much money back then. Like, you were running around with freaking plus 12 Grunhill armor. Like, you could buy plus 15 gear with that. It was crazy. So that's how we did it. That's how we did it. Made silver and bought. Just buy, guys. I've been saying it all this time. Yep. What are the people drop it that low? Yes. Go out now today and grind an Ogre Ring and tell me how long it's going to take you to get one Ogre Ring grinding for it. Yeah.
Involved in. Black did amazing even more than 2 years after Orca achieved his Tri-Ogre. Addicted 1v6. Now let's discuss something that I was personally involved in.
Ooh,
Black Desert was once renowned for its epic large-scale battles. Guilds clashed to seize control of a castle, with the victorious guild gaining command and defending it the following week against challengers. Owning a castle was a major advantage, allowing you to perch on the walls and unleash havoc on hordes of enemies attempting to overwhelm a narrow passage. It wasn't uncommon for multiple guilds to form alliances to take down the defending force. This ensured a fierce battle, but with the predictable outcome of the alliance emerging victorious. However, in August 2017, a shift occurred in the European region. 6 guilds gathered their camels and tents to siege the desert castle of Valencia against Addicted, the defending guild, a guild that I happened to be a part of at that time. It turned into an utter massacre, with the first player in Europe to earn the ultimate weapon title, which you get for getting over 300 kills, and from Addicted's side, we logged over 9,000 kills.
9,000? Wait! Jesus! It was a firefight! Lord have mercy, man.
9,000 kills!
It marked the largest battle to date where the defending guild emerged victorious. For me personally, this 4-hour siege was probably the most fun I've ever had in an MMORPG. I recorded the entire thing and still have it as an unlisted video on my YouTube channel. By the end of the siege, I personally racked up over 200 kills and got the title Special Force Commander for a week.
Mr. Krabs over there
definitely goes down as one of my favourite memories, not just in BDO, but in all MMOs.
Push the back. Area group 3 in 3, 2, 1. Chat, you have area ready. Pop it. Make sure you focus killing now and ignore everything else.
Yeah, there's some Danish shot calling right there.
Push, 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 push all the way through. Push all the way in. Go, go, go. Go in through the
Lavi,
base.
who is that?
Into the base, guys. Into the base, into the base, into the base.
Go, go, push, 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 push. This is important. Through the gate. Through the gate.
What gate? No, it's through. It's still the same, dude. It's still the same. I can't. It's still. Look at the fucking. Like, look at the siege. It's still like this. They have never. Look at the gates being like the walls being gone. Oh, just kidding. They're actually there. Oh well, guess what? You're actually at the other side of the. You're actually inside. Yeah.
Go.
6 years later, boys.
DJs Pen Journey.
It's great to see some things are still the same. Yep, some things are still the same. Oh my god. Oh, Jules, bro. Friday enhancing was invented by G-Jules. I completely stole that shit. Once Jules stopped doing it, I was like, fuck, I enhance once a week. I'll like Friday perfect for me, so I'll just start doing it when he stopped doing it. This right here, every Friday, you tuned in, you were listening to some Gabba music and G-Jules going fucking lit. You felt like you straight up, you would watch some G-Jules and you go hit town and get drunk and drink beers, right? That's basically the Friday with Jules. This was one of the most insane enhancing runs ever.
If you've played BDO, you're familiar with the highs and lows of enhancing gear. If you were around in 2018, you undoubtedly remember the adventure to pen by
Jesus, is that like all different clicks?
Jules. European streamer Jules was determined to achieve a pen weapon, the most challenging enhancement level. Unlike accessories, a failed weapon enhancement doesn't break the weapon, but decreases its level. As a small consolation, you earn fail stacks, increasing your chance of success on the next try.
There was no bugs, there's no nothing, right? Doesn't exist. We don't know the percentages. Yeah, that's like the cost of one of these clicks was astronomical. Enhancing. We had to run relic scrolls all fucking day. I'd enhanced a lot back then as well. And like several times a week probably I would be out running relic scrolls to get memory fragments. This was ungodly. This I would say is, this right here, what he's doing is harder than it is clicking pin black stars today. The work that went into this makes clicking raw pin black stars look like a fucking joke. With the amount of hours and time and everything going into every single click. Yeah. So imagine that, just like raw clicking pin black star and how bad that would feel for you right now. And then imagine, yeah, even worse, way worse. Yeah, oh, right. So the fill stacking, right? You guys probably don't know this, but back then, the way we had to do this stuff, like when we were making a 20 stack, you couldn't just consume black stones to make a 20 stack. You had to use plus 14 Reblath and click it. And whenever it upgraded to plus 15, you couldn't downgrade it with the NPC. So what you had to do, you had a negative karma alt in the city, and you would then move the gear over, the Reblath over to the alt, and you would put it on, and you would die to a guard in the town, so it would downgrade your gear. That's right. That's the shit we had to go through. Yeah. Actually have to have an... And the trick was, so you really needed a sub-level 10. So what you used to do was you made a character, and at level 6, you could go up into the mountains and you can kill 2 horses. That's going to give you negative karma. And then you have like a now level 6 to level 8 negative karma alt, and that allows you to insta respawn. Otherwise, you had to spawn and run back. Yeah, and it's not a 100% chance of downgrade, so you had to stand there and just fucking die over and over and over again. Yeah, there was no priest for cleansing. Which is also why the really smart people had like a full set of gear. So we had gloves, we had armors, helmets, and boots, because then you can have all items on to downgrade all at once. It was horrible. It was fucking horrible. So that's just to make the fail sacks. This year was insane.
Despite numerous failures,
This basically, what Jules was doing was basically that times Ledoc. Yeah, keep that in mind.
Jules persisted. Gradually, more and more people joined along for the ride, witnessing what was at the time the most unlucky man in Black Desert Online.
Hands down. This one goes 350, man.
Go try it, and then duo, and then pray again, and start all over again. Woo!
Eventually, he finally got his Penzarka at 348 fail stacks, one of the highest stacks seen at the time, immortalizing this moment forever in the history books of Black Desert.
I remember when he started going for pin, it was like, holy shit, he's already going for pin, that is insane. And by the time he finally got the pin, it was like, oh, he got a pin, that's nice. It took him so many months that it went from being, holy shit, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen, to, oh, it's just a pin. It was unreal, dude. 100% hands down, at that time, the most unlucky BDO streamer enhancer fucking in the world. And he's still at it. Go give him a follow, man. Another one. This is so great seeing all these. D-Jules is still at it. He's still streaming. He's still playing. He's an awesome dude. Lots of energy, lots of fun. Just a really, really cool guy. And I can tell you one thing. He definitely paved the way for a lot of people. He is the reason that I do my Friday enhancing. He is the reason why I started doing Friday enhancing. When he stopped doing it, I was like, you know what? I missed those Friday enhancing streams. Fuck it, I'll start doing my enhancing on Fridays. We'll do like the Fit Friday stuff and all that. That's how it came about. It's because of him. Also, a little note to give him a bit more credit, right? Through all of this, you see this down here? Use Cronstones. You guys know what he did? He vendored all his Cronstones. Every time he got Cronstones from events or whatever, or shit like that, he vendored them for silver to get repair and stuff. He fucking invented them at the NPC. He was like, nope, crunch stones, suck my dick, I'm doing this raw, and he never let up. He never crunch stoned anything. He fucking invented those crunch stones. Yep. I'm going all the way on this, and he did. He did. Yeah. He's the reason we can't sell crunch stones anymore. Yeah, that's probably right. He knew full well what it was, so he was like, nah. Yo, good morning, Hazard. Valkyrie, yes, you were right. This is an amazing video. Holy shit, like I'm getting lots of crazy flashbacks, man.
Server merge. Player conflicts in BDO don't just occur in organized sieges.
Yes, remember like the 3 different servers we talked about? Like they merged them to the big NA and big EU servers.
The European and American ones. However, the situation was a bit different initially. In the first year, each server was divided into 3. Olliston, Jordan, and Croxus for EU, and
we know how that turned out.
And Eden for NA. All 3 of these servers were well populated, each with its own distinct community, leading to frequent arguments about which one was the best.
Different.
Initially, it was more like dogs barking at each other from behind a closed gate. However, in late 2016, the 3 servers merged into one.
Right, boys. Oh.
Sparking one of the biggest conflicts in BDO history.
I don't know if he's gonna cover this here, but now that we see like with Blade, right? Blade Bowcrest, wait, fuck you guys, you don't know who Blade is? I know he said earlier that Lari was the biggest. I'm not actually sure Lari was the biggest BDO streamer. I think Blade might have been it. Blade Bowcrest. It's probably the biggest BDO streamer. Yeah. He goes over Blade. Oh, yeah, I'm just not sure he goes over the tournament, Valkyrie. Does he cover the tournament? Oh, he does. Okay. I think so. I don't see it in here. No, I don't see that in here. I don't think it's in here. So let me just quickly throw some, whenever they're merging the servers, right? One thing is the PvP and all that, but Blade Bowcrest actually hosted a cross-server tournament. He arranged a 1 versus 1 tournament on all 3 NA servers. I think he did it on EU as well. He arranged it and hosted it and everything. It was supported by Kakao, which was then publishing the games before PA took over. Gladius was the rare title he got, right? Yes, he got the title Gladius from it. But he was hosting it, so I think he got the title for hosting it and everything, as a thank you for all the work he did with that. But the actual tournament, right? It was a 1 versus 1 tournament where you had a tournament on every server. And then I think the top 2 on every server met in a grand tournament. Or was the top 3 of all the servers met in a grand tournament and then fought to be the rank 1 of all the servers. And the winner on NA... Well, so first off, maybe I should mention, I was the only witch wizard in all of NA that qualified. You'll see. I don't think anyone in EU did, actually. But yeah, I was actually the only one. Anyway. The winner of the entire thing on NA. Some of you guys might recognize his name. No, I didn't. I qualified. That was winning in and of itself. Just qualifying for this shit, qualifying for the tournament. There's like a qualification rounds and all that. I was the only mage in NA that did. No witch wizard other than me qualified. I was the only one. And then I ran into Penguin of Doom, I think. Like a fucking circle in the round 1. It was like a huge PvP as well. Like I think he made it into the Stem of France or shit like that. He's also historically known for speed hacking, but that's that's another thing. Anyway, like I did pretty okay, like freeze combos and shit on him, but yeah, I lost. Anyway, the absolute winner of the entire thing, he won on the Uno server. That's right, he's one of the homies. And then he won the combined tournament between all 3 servers, the greatest 1 versus 1 player to ever live and breathe in NA. My boy Osimir. I wonder if any of you guys recognize his name. But he was the absolute winner of all players in NA. An absolute monster. And a good friend of mine. Which made like that was before I played Warrior.
Late 2016, the 3 servers
Bad
merged
Next,
into
yeah, probably
one,
Bad Next. He was
sparking
insane.
one of
Probably,
the biggest
some, but
conflicts
this was the only one on NA that qualified.
in BDO history. This union brought about daily open world skirmishes, guild war declarations, drama,
This was
and
insane
the formation
time.
of new friendships and rivalries.
Honestly, some of the best time
it marked
of the
perhaps
PvP
what was
in all
most
of
the
BDO.
active period in the game's PvP history, with every guild engaged in constant battles day and night to determine the top contender and ruler of this newly unified server. It was a remarkable and peak moment in BDO, and it's doubtful that we'll ever witness something like that again. Shovelgate. Pre-server merge time, PvP
yes.
drama wasn't the only controversy. Guilding
This right here is also great because you had like all the servers team, like back in the day, like on the Uno servers I played, you had Barcode. Barcode was the #1 guild, and it wasn't even close, and #2 guild was Black Rose. But Barcode, they literally had like 3 castles, I think, iconic on Oven. Or was it Eden? I don't remember. Had like all castles, warrior poets, right? Cho Nation, Man Up, Vision, later Snake, Gravity. Gravity was like the strongest. They did later then merge into Man Up, and then Man Up became the unstoppable beast it was. Baka, right? Join Baka, get Saka. Oh my god. Yep. But anyway, like you had wars, right? We were fighting on Uno. On Uno, we were fighting because we were fighting each other with node wars and everything. As soon as we did the merger, all of the Uno server just fucking were like, guys, we're it now. All the rivalries, all the wars, all the shit talking, it's behind us. We need to prove that we have the biggest stick. The Uno server, that's why you hear Uno boys, it's still a thing. And then you also had like Eden and Owen doing the same thing, proving that they were the real PvP server, and all those other servers were fucking RP servers. Iconic. And it was like, those were one of the most fun, exciting times because you had so much dick slinging, so much proving and ego checking going on. Like the servers from rivalries just throwing it. Oh, Mango Bay. True. Like all of these people just having something to prove over the other servers. It was the Wild West.
Engaged in constant battles day and night to determine the top contender and ruler of this newly unified server. It was a remarkable...
Do you like the old PvP ways in BDO? Yeah, I much prefer the old PvP ways, but they can never bring it back. Because the old PvP ways were based around scarce resources. So it was a cannibalistic PvP system, the old one, where not only were you trying to progress yourself because gear was very powerful, it was very hard to progress, the work and hours, it's slow progressing. So if you had access to better grind spots, the jump up was huge and your gear progression was much faster. And you also then were not only got advantages of doing that, but you could actually keep people out of the top end grind spots with your guilds. So not only did you progress faster, you were incentivized to prevent other people from progressing at the same rate, so increasing the gap. And you can never bring that back to the game because if they had not changed it, the game would have been dead. Castle pairings were insane. Yeah, fuck, you had like people getting like a weekly payout, making 10x what grinders were doing in that. Like it was so much. And it was fun because it created this fight over something. They're trying to control scarce resources. The rivalries had something behind them, but it also meant that you could block people out from being able to play the game, and you were incentivized to do it so you could stay ahead. Whereas now, like, okay, imagine if there was only 2 rotations. Think about this for a moment. Imagine that there's only 2 rotations at the new spot with boots, right? Every server only had 2 rotations. And people could kill you without having to worry about karma. you wouldn't get to grind there unless you were in one of the top guilds, unless you're one of the strongest. So now they are getting the new items, and they are preventing you from getting the new items. It creates rivalries and everything. That's what generates this crazy PvP, but it's also super unhealthy for a video game in the long run. It works when it's still early on and everything, but no, it wouldn't work, unfortunately. But god damn, it was fun. It was exciting. Yeah. Post on Discord, Akumi. We have a channel. It's with Discord. Put it in there. As a trash design, well, it's not trash design. It's a specific. It's a specific design. It's a niche design, and for the people that love it, it's a lot of fun. But it also kills the game over time because new players can never get into the game and catch up because the veteran players progress at a faster rate, but they also prevent other people from progressing at a faster rate. Imagine you, even though you have the gear to grind at a good grind spot, you can't do it because if you go there, you will get killed. And there's so few spots that big guilds can control those spots. So you just basically have to wait for them to move on to somewhere else, or you just have to stand there like what do I do? Well, you could then try and join a bigger guild, right, and fight over it, but that's not what the average player wants. Unfortunately, it's something that kills a game over time. The niche is not big enough for an MMO? I mean, that's not true. It definitely was. Like, BDO was big back then. Huge back then. But it's not sustainable in the long run, Tenno. Yeah, because people will always quit. So you have to make it so when new people pick up a game, they can feel like they can be part of the game. Right? And that's why a game like BDO would have died over time if they hadn't changed direction on it. But I definitely prefer it though. Like, I love that shit. If I got my way, I know a lot of the times like I'm defending like those weird things and like oh my god, people going crazy over the war decks and everything. I'm like, there's a reason for it. Like, if I had BDO the way I would like the game to be, the game would have died 5 years ago. I can promise you that. This game would not exist right now if BDO was the way I wanted it to be. Just like in my like ideal game, BDO, you would still lose EXP if a player killed you. Crunchstones wouldn't exist. If you went for Debo, that shit would explode 100% of the time, right, if you failed. Downgrading a Fallen Guard gear. Like, shit, by now people wouldn't even have that gear. Like, I like that stuff. I think that's lit as fuck. Super hardcore, super crazy, but I also understand it doesn't work with a video game in the long run. It basically will just kill the game. Nobody will pick up the game, or at least not at the same rate as people quit video games. Video just reset everyone's progress. The more progress you have, you get some sort of reward, saying them to the cosmetics or gear. No, it doesn't make sense to do that, right? That's absolutely just backwards. It's kind of one of the good things about BDO is the infinite progression, right? That it keeps building on top of it. You sort of have some soft resets with catching up. Like, so when it comes to catch-up mechanics in video games, you have to have them. And there's two different ways of doing it. There is the BDO way, and there is the MMO way. Sorry, the WoW way, right? In BDO, the way you do it, you have the top here and you have the new players. And you keep moving the top, and then once in a while, boom, you just increase, like you make a jump on the bottom. Like basically with season gear and things like that. You make it easier to catch up. You slow down the top and you increase this. Where in World of Warcraft, right, you have this and then suddenly just boom, you fucking reset everything and now you start even. I don't like that. I think that was one of the reasons I quit World of Warcraft after Lich King. It was one of the reasons. I couldn't take another restart. They should never do that in BDO. They should keep adding catch-up mechanics and they should keep raising the new levels. And they've been very, very good at this. So somebody that joins BDO now, after the game has been out for almost 8 years, and the game has never had a reset of gear and progression, ever, in 8 years. Somebody picks up the game now. You can be caught up and competitive in, depending on what kind of content you're doing, like 3 to 6 months. And a lot sooner if you want to do Arena Solar. Like, this is just PvP, right? There's no real catching up in PvE. There's so much stuff you can do right out the gate. Resets are terrible. I never want to see it in BDO. I think BDO is doing it the right way when it comes to allowing new players to pick up the game and not have to basically be 8 years behind. Few months and then Hard Wolf and Criminal Gains still matter in hands of good players. It's good design. BDO seems to do that. Yeah. I wouldn't. Yo, Jules, what's up, man? Guys, go and give Jules a fucking follow again if you haven't already. I don't know if you've seen this video, Jules, but you have a special segment in it. So we just finished that. The D Jules first pen. Guys, that's him. That's the man right there. D Jules TV. Go give him a follow. Always a pleasure seeing you, man. There's much more to do in the game tiers. Need to new content. Oh yeah, no, I agree. Like they need to also. I think it's about time they raise the ceiling a bit. So PA actually came out. Oh, you did. All right. I hope I did you justice, man. I hope I did you justice. So PA actually came out. I think it was like a year or two ago, and said that they wanted more players to catch up. Originally, the gear gap in BDO was 100x what it is now. I've told the story before, but I can tell it again. I used to be in the top 10 geared players in NA. And I was probably top 5 geared player in NA. Back in the day. I was definitely among the 10 most geared players in all of North America. And I remember Node War specifically, where I quite literally 1 versus 3'd in a Node War. And I don't mean 1 versus 3 players, I mean 3 guilds. I single-handedly farmed 3 guilds in a Node War. Just because I gear checked them all. It was absolutely fucking disgusting. The gear gap was unreal. And yeah, no, I'm not. I would on my witch ride. I played. I was one of the first people with TED accessories. Back when people were trying to get tri accessories, I had a TED Centaur belt. I had a TED parry dagger. I had a TED tongue grid earring. I had one of the first on NA. The amount of whispers I got when I hit that from Snake and the man, I'm like, yo, are you selling that? Yo, are you gonna list that? And like it was unethical. Yeah, uncapped. Cap didn't exist back then. There was no capped. Cap did not exist in the game. I would TP in. I would 2-shot everyone around me, and I got CC'd. I got grabbed or whatever. And I didn't, there was literally full guilds standing on me. I was like, the guilds were grouping up to attack our base. I would just TP into them and I would stand up at half HP and heal in their face. I ended up killing 3 guilds while they were grouping up to attack our base. While the rest of my guilds were like, I just literally went in 1 versus 3 guilds and fucking farmed them all. Just because of the gear gap back then. Yeah. Double cap, thank you so much for the resub, man. No, I didn't stream, I didn't do YouTube or anything at all. No, I have no proof of this. Unfortunately. It was back in the, I think it was in Riders at then. You can ask Norelio. Me and Norelio, we had some crazy fucking pop-offs as well. No, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. You could never do that now. Proof is Horseman, bro. Yeah, trust me, I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer. No, I remember that very vividly. I was mad fucking geared.
And peak moment in BDO, and it's doubtful that we'll ever witness something like that again. Shovelgate. Pre-server merge time, PvP drama wasn't the only controversy. Right before the server merge, the largest ban wave in BDO history occurred, and it all revolved around a shovel. There's not much to elaborate on, but in late 2016, people discovered that by a clever use of game mechanics, they could essentially AFK and make big money by shoveling in the desert. Yeah. Normally, if you...
So the TLDR is, enhancing materials was super costly. So if you're shoveling in the desert, you can get hearts and sharps. So what people would do was they would like perma shovel, and they would fill up their inventory. So I think it was like it didn't use energy, and they just had like a hardened sharp, and then there was like a box. So I think it didn't use energy under shoveling. If you didn't take all of it, checkbox repeat. No, I don't think that was a thing back then. So they've just fucking macroed it. They macroed it, and they used Witch and Wizard, because then they would macro it using their heals every X minutes, because you also got the desert debuff. I do believe there was like a place you could be where you didn't get the debuff, where you could dig in the shovel in the desert and all. Yeah, but like it was insane. This might be a hot take, but the value people made out of the shoveling made the mapping look like a fucking joke relative to the time. Yeah.
Use a shovel in the desert, there's a slight chance at gathering a rare item. The catch is you'll take damage over time, and your inventory will be filled with junk after a while. However, some crafty individuals figured out that if you filled your inventory with random items, leaving only one slot open for the rare drop, and position yourself in a very specific desert spot where the developers forgot to apply the debuff, you
they also, and I know this because I saw some do it. People also did it on Witch and Wizard, and then they macroed it to use the heal every X amount of minutes. So just like keybind the heal, right? And then they macroed a rotation thingy of the digging, and also it would do the heals every X amount and use the water and all that shit.
You could amass wealth much faster than anyone not employing this method. And so people started digging. Perlibis wasn't pleased with this, leading to the most extensive ban wave in BDO's history.
Yeah, it was kind of
thousands of accounts, including guild leaders, streamers, and hardcore players.
There was a lot of people. Guys, like, no. None of this bullshit.
Exiled to the desert, never to be seen again. The Cacao event. In December 2020, it was announced that Cacao Games, the Western publisher for Black Desert...
Several people, yeah, from Gravity got the axe over this. I think that this was also like some of the thing that sparked like Gravity. Gravity was like the strongest guild. And a lot of people got banned in Gravity over this. I think this was also what led to then the eventual merger between Gravity and Man Up. I'm not 100% sure on the timeline of
that. It would step down, giving full control to Perlibis.
One of the best events
Most players viewed this as a positive change. Cacao, whilst having a less than stellar reputation, wasn't all...
It's time to go. Was I a good publisher? No. But I loved you anyway, yeah.
All that bad though. In fact, they organised one of the coolest events in BDO's history. Cacao's team of GMs and CMs orchestrated a community event open to the entire player base. It was a campaign where players followed the GMs through a series of challenges and puzzles, unlocking prizes for the whole server as they progressed.
I don't think I did this. It's a Blonde Bear! I remember this!
To be very quiet. Follow me and stay on your guard.
Said Divios. The world champ.
Oh no, wait a minute. Oh wait, I was part of this. It's the 4 Horsemen. Yeah, I was part of this. I did this with Mermaid on Tap, I think. Yeah, I think I did this with Mermaid on Tap. So Enlave was actually and Laffy. I bet Enlave is sad he didn't get credit for this one. He didn't. Oh, he doesn't get credit in here? I think it's Enlave like reading up as well that we just heard. But yeah, Laffy and Enlave, you were both GMs at Cacao, and then you got a job at Perlibis. So we got the best ones. I wasn't there. Oh, just him? Oh, you joined at that point? I thought you were there as well. Oh well. Well, you came later then. But yeah, Enlave, huge. Absolutely huge. I remember like when we found out that he was joining PA afterwards, like everyone was so happy. Mac and Charles and 2 others with Horseman, Devious. Yeah, Devious, Mac, Choice, and I remember what it was. Yeah.
During the journey, players faced some of the server's most geared and skilled PvP players, all equipped with a pure black stone,
Yeah, that was
an
so
item
unfair.
which significantly boosted their stats. The story reached a theatrical climax with a surprising twist, pitting the party against a player powered up with all of the pure black stones. The entire event was streamed and coordinated
the only revenue was the ones from DJs
by
channel.
Cacao with minimal help from Pearl Abyss. It was a unique and passionately executed event by the people at Cacao Games, and one that anyone that participated in will never forget. The pay-to-win protests.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool. It was a fun event. I was really happy to be part of it. I guess it was Inlave behind it all, right? Inlave looks like if Boldlave had hair. How to get more of those pure black stones? They're just random drops anywhere in the world.
As mentioned earlier, Cacao didn't have the best reputation in the community. Despite promising the game wouldn't be pay to win, they began introducing questionable items into the category.
So this, to this day, still haunts BDO. Oh, thank you, Jules. I'll take a look. Holy moly. Okay, can I show this image? Is it okay if I show this, Jules? Alright, so we talked also a bit about like gear and the node wars and everything. This is an old school screenshot from this, and officers and GMs, like you see, this was split. So here Jules killed 17 times the GM and 68 times officers. Let me see, what is the score? 482 to 41. Dude! These numbers, man. Oh my god. Yeah, you could just hard check people. Hard check people so much. 10 to 1, right. BDO was a different beast back then. This here, yeah, that's a pretty good ratio. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And also, let's not forget like the Knicks guys here. That's top 5 going pretty hard. This looks like it was a fun war. A very fun war. Yeah. But yeah, this right here is still, this is the reason why BDO to this day has a pay-to-win reputation. It's because of the protests that happened in the game at that time. They wrote articles about it, and it was with the introduction of the value pack. And it was the first step, right? BDO became way more pay-to-win since then with the addition of crunch zones from costumes. That was the one thing, and they later then added it, right? And I really sat down and hard considered if I was done playing BDO at that point. And I decided, nah. What I did was I basically just like, fuck it, I'll play the game, I'll see how this plays out, give it a week or two, and then I'll make up my mind. And then after 2 weeks, I was like, whatever, nothing fucking changed. I'll keep grinding. But yeah, and here we are, right? Yep. 200 crowns on the depot though. I think it was way more than 200k crowns, right? It was 200k crowns on my Fallen Guard armor. But I said before, like, if it's up to me, crunch stones would never exist in BDO. Not even vendor crunch. Not even vendor crunch if I had my way with BDO. But I also understand that that would not function, right? Nobody would play the game other than me. I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to this stuff, guys. So it is what it is. Downgrading wouldn't exist. Oh no. Downgrading would exist and exploding accessories would exist. Crunch zones just wouldn't. No, like I'm an actual masochist. You guys don't understand. Yeah, no. Full-time streamers are playing is your job? Well, it's only been my job for like the last 2 years. I've been playing the game for almost 8, man. It's not like I changed my opinion about how I wanted the game to be just because I started being able to stream full time. Oh no. If anything, I've become more casual now that I'm streaming. It's like, whatever, chilling a bit more. Oh, like, bro, like I would come home from work. If we had Castle, right, I would come home from my work and I would do, just to give you an idea about like how I used to play BDO, I would grind 50 hours in a week. 50 hours grinding. 2 times a week, I would wake up at 3 a.m. Okay, let me preface this. I would wake up at 1:15. Sorry, 1:25, right? I would wake up, set my alarm, 1:25 a.m. twice a week. I would pop my first food buff. I would go back to bed. 25 minutes on the alarm clock. I would wake up again. I would pop my next food buff. I would go sleep again for 25 minutes. I would wake up, pop my third food buff. I would go to sleep. I would wake up. I would run out into the desert, get my fucking villa, pop my fourth food buff, and be ready for Node War. 2 times a week and once for Siege. Yeah. You guys don't understand how much I hate myself. All for that timing? Yeah. True. Wait, you gotta add on mental health, Jesus. How do you find a girlfriend with that schedule? Because of video games? Like, what do you mean? Yeah. No, like, if it wasn't for MMOs, I wouldn't have met my girlfriend. It's that simple. Yeah. So you're saying it's a cron meal saved me your life? Yes, unironically, Skoogle, the #1 change in the history of BDO for me personally is cron meals. Yeah, now I only had to wake up at 2:30 to get out and get my villa buff and then go to war right away. Yeah, though legitimately I was dying because of food rotations. Yeah, it's by far #1 change in BDO in the history of the game is the addition of cron meals. Nothing gets even close. Wait, what? Why? Oh, okay, so you probably missed that because of ads. So the way I twice a week, right? I would wake up at like 1:20 to pop a food buff because you had to use a food rotation for Node Wars. So I would wake up, pop my first food buff, go back to bed and sleep for 25 minutes. Wake up, pop my second food, go and sleep for 25 minutes again, and wake up so I was ready with my full food rotation for 3 a.m. when the Node War starts. And I did that 2 times a week, plus Siege every Saturday. So at least when they added cron meals, I could just wake up like half an hour before, ride out into the desert, get my villa buff, pop my cron meal, and I'm ready to play the game. I didn't have to like actually kill myself by waking up, sleeping, waking, no, like actually frying my brain. Why didn't you just do that before bed? Because I was doing other things? And because I'm no bitch? What do you think I was doing while I was sleeping? You think I had like locked a character? No. I was fucking life skilling. Like, I was processing and shit like that. I gotta make money, homie. Yeah. I ain't no bitch. If that's what I gotta do, that's what I do. Wait, so use another thing? Nope. Half an hour cooldown on food. Can you do food rotation with the new ferry? I think you can, yes. Yo, what's up, Todd? Oh. So many per hour processing? That was insane money, man. Insane money. Oh, the Oasis event? Yeah, went pretty hard. Alright, sorry, let's watch this.
One such item was the value pack. At the time it sparked significant controversy, leading to a mass exodus of players, almost causing the game's demise. Although there's no chart to illustrate the massive population drop as this was pre-Steam, the game went from being vibrant and thriving to a deserted wasteland. The remaining players, however, didn't stay silent and protested the best way they could. Guilds in both NA and EU collectively changed their guild icons to express their dissatisfaction with the predatory monetization. Since castle-holding guild icons appeared in every city, this protest even made some news in the MMORPG scene. The protests lasted a few months, but eventually players just started to accept the new monetization. The game's population slowly started to grow again, and whoever was in charge of the game's monetization realised that the player base and their wallets were nicely lubed up and ready to take an even bigger fist.
Yeah, I've paid €100 for this game. Like, you have as well, haven't you, Greg? Like, why should I have to spend another €30 to get a ghillie suit? Why is that fair?
Oh my god.
Why should I have to do that?
I hate that.
The first international tournament. Like all PvP games, Black Desert has had its fair...
But to be fair, like, it was the monetization of the game. There's no sub or anything like that. The value pack was something they added later, right? That was pretty much the thing that sparked the pay to win. So it's also very naive to think that you would get a game like BDO, just pay like one time for the game cost, and then not have to pay for expansions or anything else, and there would be no more cost associated with the game for the next many years. Of course, that wasn't going to be the case, but at least we dreamt. We could dream. Dark Mentor, thank you for the Prime, and welcome to Gun Show. I've never bought a ghillie until this day. What an ethical gamer, Luffy. What an actual ethical gamer. I didn't use a ghillie for the longest time either, for like many years. I don't remember exactly when it was I bought one. I think it was not until like I joined Black Rose and we were doing like node wars and shit and sieges because I had all those fucking icons over my head, being a life skiller and using my witch for everything. So I had a huge target on my face. I think that's when I was like, fuck, I'll buy it. But I wanted people to know I killed them in open world. Yeah, I wanted people to be like, oh god, it's Daisy. Yeah, I wanted them to know who it was. Yeah, so like, Gillisu, no, no. I want you to know who killed you. Back then I was killing people, I wasn't just dying. It was a very different, listen, BDO was a very different game for me back then. I actually did the killing most of the time. Yeah, believe it or not. Not so much anymore. It was a ghillie. It hides your name. Also, it completely removed your name. It was insane PvP advantage. Insane PvP advantage. Right now, it says like unknown adventure. It didn't. There was nothing above you. So if it was nighttime or you couldn't see you. It was just open. It was so pay to win. It was insane. Used to 1 vs 3 guilds and now multi 1 vs 3's you. Yeah. And I used to actually go like 60-40 with multi in 1 vs 1. Back in the days, I would say like 60-40 to multi, obviously. In our 1 vs 1, in the golden days when we met each other for the first time, like we often ran in because we're both EU, right? So we had pretty much same schedule. So we ran into each other all the time on Arsha back in the day. And we PvP'd all the fucking time. And I like almost went even. I think it was like 60-40 to him. Now he literally 1 vs 3 does. Oh, how the tables have turned.
A share of EU vs NA drama. However, since MMOs usually lack ways to bridge the gap between servers, this mainly serves as fodder for forum warriors engaging in debates over who boasted the best players and guilds.
Oh, this was crazy,
After many years, though, this ongoing...
These two. If you don't recognize these two, let me educate you. This is none other than Good Vibes Guy and Dr. Positive. GBG is actually back streaming BDO from time to time. He works for TSM now, I think. But these two hosted the tournament supported by Kakao. I don't think Kakao ever did any official tournaments. It was all hosted by these guys. Absolutely giga chat, super cool, nice guys. And they did like 1 vs 1, 2v2, and 3v3 tournaments, and this was where the Archer weapons were first introduced. This was the first time people won Archer weapons in NA, and I think they did it in the EU as well. I think they did this in the EU as well. But this is the original Archer weapons. It's from this. And unfortunately, I never won an Archer weapon because I played Awakened Witch back then. Sucked asshole. Artistic asshole, guys. It was a very artistic, and it was actually after these tournaments where I was like, if I ever want to win an Archer weapon, I gotta play something else. And this was one of the big, there's many reasons for it, but this was one of the big reasons I rerolled Warrior. And 3 years after the last of these tournaments was the first time ever they did another Archer weapon tournament, which I then won. So I did get my Archer weapon eventually.
debate could finally be settled. Cacao Games organised a 3v3 tournament in each region to determine the best players who would represent their region at TwitchCon 2018. Following a close 2-2 result, NA emerged victorious.
Also, he says NA emerged victorious, but what guilds was the NA players representing? The first world championship, and I wonder what guilds won. Was it the Black Rose Boys? It was the Black Rose Boys. It was the homies. Fucking Clubs, Kip, and Benzi Boy taking it to the world stage and winning the first world championship. The homies right there. Oh, that's right.
Winning the show match and earning the title of the strongest region.
Clubs with the... Is that the kick? Oh, the Clubs kick is insane. He's got a... Oh, look at them, dude. Look at them go.
EU hasn't emotionally recovered since the Russian siege. 3v3...
So to be fair for EU, right? I do believe that the original EU team couldn't make it because of visa issues. So that's at least the EU cope. Oh, it wasn't even the right team. Oh, yeah.
Battles between regions became a reality, but the dream of having a full-on siege between two servers...
Listen, at least EU got a chance to redeem themselves, right? In the second ever World 3v3 Championship. And they really... Oh, right. Wait, who won that one? Oh.
Others remained just that, a dream, after Pearl Abyss assumed...
Oh wait, what guild was in that team as well? Oh, was that Flannels from Black Rose? Ooh, let's go, boys! Black Rose with 2 back-to-back world championships. Just saying. I'm sure there was like 2 Cho Nation in that team as well, but who's counting?
Full publishing control of every server, though, that dream started turning into a reality.
Devious hasn't lost anything. That man cannot lose.
Off against the Southeast Asian ones, resulting in a one-sided fight favouring the Koreans, who were way ahead in terms of gear and experience. Then in...
Wait, how did that have... Wait, so... Oh, wait. Didn't we have one of these recently when they were not ahead in gear? How did that go?
February 2022, Pearl Abyss organised a clash between the European and Russian servers. Yeah.
And I just want to say the Russians took it a bit far. Like, they took it a bit far with this one.
Not the best timing. The siege was cancelled after 2 fights, with each region claiming a victory. 2 workers, 1 node.
Oh.
What if I told you that you could send 2 workers to 1 node? Enter the biggest scandal in the BDO content creator scene.
Yeah, this is probably still to this day the biggest scandal? Yeah, I don't even know what to call it because the biggest what the fuck. This might be it.
Blade Bokez, a massively popular life skill guru who got banned by Cacao Games for exploiting a bug. This bug allowed him to send multiple workers to 1 node, effectively doubling the amount of resources he could gather. This stirred up a huge debate at the time, and Blade made numerous attempts to clear his name and prove his innocence. If you're into the drama and want all the details, there's hours of videos and reads available online about this topic. However, the legendary 2 workers 1 node will forever be a cherished meme in the BDO community. But that's it.
You know, unironically, I think PA should actually allow 2 workers on 1 node. I think it would actually be fitting to potentially have multiple workers on nodes nowadays. It wouldn't be too far-fetched, like, to allow people to send multiple workers on excavation nodes. Yeah. No, I guess
always,
skip the mapping.
Let me know your thoughts on Blackbirds Online, and what's your favourite memory with BDO? If you've never played BDO, are there any other legendary moments in MMO history that you were a part of? Help us out with a like to appease the algorithm gods. Social media on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Also, I think at the end of the day, right, Blade, he got the ban, but he got like unbanned again, and it's like a temporary ban, whatever. and they removed the resources, and it was around 40 million silver worth of resources he lost. Like even back then, like it wasn't even that much. It wasn't anything like insane. Yeah. Heard of the mapping, Black Rose is always in spotlight. It was Barcode and Black Rose budget. I have to be honest, like even though I'm in Black Rose, right? I don't know exactly what it all went down, because, well, surprise, surprise, I weren't fucking there. I think I don't know like the percentages between Barcode and Black Rose, but there was also other guilds doing it. It wasn't just, but those were the two biggest guilds doing it. There are several other guilds that's also doing the same thing, where people got banned from. I think 23 people in total got permabanned from it. And everyone that participated lost the value they gained. And they valued the fail stack like extremely high. That's why people went into the negative. But yeah, I don't know like the percentage wise, but I do know that the people from Black Rose that did it went into the Barcode guild, so it was done in Barcode. But that's about it. Like I don't actually know like the big things of all this. TBT months on the payouts. I think that's the biggest impact on BDO economy ever, Dallins. Yeah. Yo, good morning, Fahrenheit. I definitely think the sea monster hunting was the biggest impact on the BDO economy of anything to ever happen. And I don't think it's even close. And I think the second one, in terms of like exporting on, is actually the digging, and then it's probably mapping. The digging stuff was way bigger value percentage-wise than mapping. Like at least 2-3x, if not more. But yeah, sea monster hunting was like a monster. The Crunchstone Ghost event. Wait. We're forgetting one. Oh my god, I don't remember what the Crunchstone Ghost one was. Atlas, please explain that one. Do you guys remember the Kafra stones? Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. The fucking Kafra stone fishing event. Bro, I forgot about that one. Oh, the Kafra stone, yeah, for the fishing. People would speak, had fucking fishing and stuff. Oh my lord. The Macrobot, yeah, it was like, I don't remember the specific, I know, but people would go into, shit, how was it? They would go into the fortune, yeah, the fortune box, yeah. They would go into RBF, and then exit RBF, like jump out of RBF, and do some fishing there, or whatever. It was so, yeah, it was super weird. But there's a couple people that got banned for that as well. And that was, you had people like getting, okay, do you guys realize like how bad it was? People were making pin weapons by C20ing their tits. So I didn't have any like lasting impact, but in terms of value, that's gotta be probably number 2 after sea monster hunting. It's a lot of Kafras, yeah. Doesn't sound impressive when Fallen Guard is the norm. Even when Fallen Guard is the norm, Tinno. Nobody is going to C20 their tits to make a pin. Even now, people wouldn't C20 a tit item to make a pin. Also, tit items were the norm back then. Nobody in their right mind would ever make a pin by C20ing a tit. Wasn't there a ghost event that was giving out a bunch of crunchstones, so people were botting that? I found ways to... Ooh, I don't remember that one, but yeah, I don't remember that one. Oh, script calls that shit? Yeah, that's like the second time I've like considered quitting. When they added crunchstones to costumes, and then with the sea monster hunting. Yeah. On 10k Kafras to C20 at boss? Yeah. 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 It was absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. Guys, go and give this a like. This is honestly one of the best videos I've seen in a very, very, very long time. What an absolute banger from LazyPeon. I really fucking appreciate him making this video. This was a really, really cool video. And again, I think Lazy get way too much shit from his like negative views on games and all. It's his views on the stuff. The man has like, I love his humor. It's so good, man. And obviously he liked the game, he loved it, played it a lot. Eden coming in with the clutch editing. What an absolute banger of a video.